Hello students, this is Dr. Hemendra Sharma. Today we are going to study in entrepreneurship and small business management, few other topics. And today's topic of our discussion would be selection of site. Now, before we begin this particular term, what do we understand by selection of site? If in layman's language we understand, to start up any business, we have to understand on what grounds we are selecting that particular site for the starting up of our business. It has to be near to the labor market, or it is near to the the raw material which is being required by your business. It is near to that market, or whether it is that the government is providing you any subsidy on that, whether the government is providing subsidy on your electricity bill or water submersible or water pumps, etc. So before selection of the site, these all parameters need to be understand before you finalize your site. So what are the necessary points and what are the important aspects which needs to be decided before you do the site selection? Let us now see in detail. So the following points highlight the main factors to be considered in selection of suitable site. Availability of raw material. The place selected should be such where the raw materials are available easily. There should be an easy approach to the place of raw materials. For example, iron and steel industry in Bihar, textile factories in Gujarat and Maharashtra, jute works in Bengal owe their success on account of easy availability of raw materials, which reduces the cost of transportation. As you can see, and we were discussing also, what is the benefit of selecting a site which is near to the raw material market? Basically, it is not only going to benefit and reduce or eliminate your transportation costs, but it also rendering you to grow more and more as the day passes. Basically, if the raw material is near to you, you apart from doing the traditional business, you can, as per the need and requirement of the market, you can modify your business if the raw material is available near to your market. If you see about the iron and steel industry, transformation is always there. To increase the production, you have to be technology oriented, and technology oriented can only be possible if you adopt to the new modern or the new methods of technology of production. And if you have adopted that, but the raw material which you require for the production is far away, then it has to have a a coordination of the supply of the raw material and your production. If the production is being stopped because of the lack of your this raw material, then it is going to give you huge losses. So before you go for the selection of site, you have to understand that it has to be near to the raw material. In some cases it happens, and in some cases it doesn't. So in those cases in which it doesn't take place, it is near to the raw material, then some other factors needs to be considered, what the benefits you are getting from the state or the central government. To the next point, nearness to the market. Manufacturing a thing successfully is not sufficient. It is also necessary that the output should find ready market and that the product is sold at a price to yield reasonable profit. This is possible only when the market is not far away. Nearness of the market ensures transportation costless and minimum wastage. So now this is only possible when your organization is at a smaller level. But if you expand your horizons, in that case, if your raw material is fast and your market is near, then it is only reducing or it is limiting your particular future. But if you expand to the nearby markets or to a faraway market, that your raw material cost which you have saved because of the nearness of the location, you should incur that saving amount to your expanding the market in the other parts of the country as well, to minimize the production cost and to increase the revenue. Next point is nearness to sources of operating power. Every industry requires fuel for working the machinery, and unless the region has rich fuel resources of power, now available are coal, hydroelectricity, and oil, etc. Coal is the cheapest source of power, but it is very bulky and involves high transportation costs. So we have to understand operating power. Basically it requires electricity. Now electricity comes in various forms: hydroelectric power projects, oil or coal. Oil in sense of, if you are that there is a very huge frequent cuts of power, then you have to run it on diesel generators. So diesel generator is only possible if you are having in-house fuel capacity, or that the your diesel availability is nearby to your location. So all these aspects needs to be considered when you are selecting your site. Labor supplies. Now, labor supplies is basically the skilled and the unskilled labor. The successful organizations can have made their path easy because of their right person at the right place, and that can only be possible if you go for that particular growth with the right successful choosing the right successful candidate at the right place. For the successful and uninterrupted working of a factory, availability of adequate supply of labor of the right type at reasonable wages is also very essential. There are some industries in which the inherited skill of the workers plays an important factor in the process of manufacturing. For example, the development of the dyeing and printing industry in Farrukhabad and the glass industry in Firozabad have been mainly located there due to the availability of skilled labor in these towns. As you can see, the Firozabad is famous for glass works, whether you talk about bangles or the decorative glass lights or danglers or anything like that. So basically, you can see it is reasonable because there is the availability of skilled labor in those locations. Transportation. Every manufacturing industry requires cheap and efficient means of transportation for the movement of both raw material from the source of supply to the factory and finished product from the factory to the markets or the centers of consumption. The location of the plant should therefore be at a place where adequate transport facilities are available at cheaper rate. Transportation, basically here they are emphasizing on the movement of the raw material as well as of the finished goods from one location to another, and this can only be possible if you have got your own transportation. And if you're increasing your horizons, then you have to also have at the same time a parallel tie-ups with the joint transporters if in transporters, so that in that case, if your all the transporter trucks and all the transporter equipment or machinery is out of your location, then in that case you can ask them to supply the required finished goods or the raw material to another location, so that the regular work which is going on in the factory doesn't get stops. So you have to have two plans whenever you are looking for the transportation. If you are having your own capacity, then it's quite good enough, and if your horizons are increasing and you cannot meet or increase your transportation vehicle, so in that case you should have the local vendors who can transport or who can do the work for you for the transportation part. Next point is finance. No productive activity is possible without the availability of adequate capital. Banks, stock exchanges, and other similar institutions help in capital formation and expansion of industry by providing financial help to it from time to time. So as you can see, every organization, small scale or large scale, requires the adequate capital. Adequate capital is required for the smooth functioning of the organization. Whether you borrow it from the banks, whether you take it from the stock exchanges, if you sell your shares or equities or debentures like that. So that is are the fact those are the factors by which you can create your own finances, and this is going to help you to enhance your horizon. Because if you're looking for the expansion, say after 10 years, if you have understood the business and you have established the business quite well, you are going to increase your horizon, whether in the same vertical or into the different vertical, and for that every time you require the finance, and this is only going to get possible if you're having these all options available with you. Climate, very important point. Certain industries for their successful working require a special type of climate. For example, cotton textile industry requires humid climate, while the photographic goods industry flourishes best in regions of dry climate. Climate also affects the efficiency of labor. Now, if we talk about the country's northern part is basically having all types of climate as compared to the southern part. Basically, northern part is having huge winters or the heavy summers. So the temperatures drops down in the winters and temperature shoots up to the maximum in the summer. So there are two maximum levels of the weather. So in those weathers, to take out the work and the nature of the industry you are dealing with is very important. And whenever you are establishing your entity, you have to understand as to which type of a industry you are establishing in the place, and what type of a climate and what type of the weather prevails over there. Moving further, momentum of early start. Now, first come first serve basis. First you come, maximum you get. The last you come, the least you get. There is a tendency for an established industry to remain localized in a particular areas in which it arose even after some of the original advantages possessed by that area for such work have lost their previous importance. If, however, the entrepreneur acts rationally and is necessary knowledge, he will choose the location which offers the lowest cost per unit of output. Now, here they are emphasizing because you have located your industry near to the raw material side. Now due to after 10 years or after 20 years or after 30 years, due to the reduction in the availability of raw material or because of the increasing numbers of players in the market, you have lost the advantage of getting more raw material. So that doesn't mean now you have to shift to another location, because in the past many years this location has given you the advantage of providing you the raw material. Now if the location has not providing you that much raw material which you are looking forward to, that doesn't mean that you have to switch over from this location to another. Either you develop the alternatives. That is the role of an entrepreneur is. So if you see the last point, if however the entrepreneur acts rationally and his necessary knowledge, he will choose the location which offers the lowest cost per unit of output. So these all are the advantage just points. Now the personal preferences. Location of any industry may sometimes be decided according to the personal preferences and prejudice of the industrial enterprises. Government policy. These days, the government plays an important role in determining the location of new industries. Now, if you talk about, I will tell you one example of when the UP, Uttar Pradesh was getting divided and a new part called Uttarakhand was developed. Post development of that particular state, the government at that time announced that if the company comes into our state, they are going to provide them subsidy of not asking for the taxes or some other levied charges, which if the company comes into the state, they have to pay. So this idea of providing the subsidies to the organizations have lured them. And what happens? Many of the countries from other parts of the country move to Uttarakhand because they are providing them the long-term margin for their revenue and increasing, and which in turn helps them in shifting from the one vertical to the another location by reducing the other allied costs which were there in the other states. So this policy of the Uttarakhand state have nurtured huge manufacturing organizations in the state, and which have helping them in growing that particular state, by which there is an improvement in the standard of living, there is an improvement in the economy of the state. In addition to the factors discussed above, cost of land and building for setting up the factory, topography of the area, the possibilities of future expansion, etc., are some other factors which also get influenced while you are taking the decision regarding the location of the industry. Now the financial assistance, other important aspect, financial assistance, what does that mean? It's basically the backbone or the main aspect of any organization to run smoothly. If you do not have that much of capacity with you, then it will be very challenging, it will be very tough to run your organization smoothly. For a tiny requirement to a max to a very major part of the requirement of plant and machinery or any other part, you require the financial assistance. Now what does this say? Mostly small scale units are financially weak. Their main worry is the arrangement of capital. They require financial assistance not only to purchase machinery and equipment, but also for purchasing raw material and working capital. Today, various organizations have come forward for sufficient financial help at reasonable rates of interest. Now, if you talk about the new e-commerce platform, which have in the past 5 to 10 years have came widely in the Indian market. If you see, whenever they have launched in the market, they have invested their own or the borrowed money from from their near and dear ones or from the banks. But when the organization successfully is growing, they require more and more funds. So where does that fund comes from? It comes from the state government, it comes from the state financial corporations, banks, state industrial cooperative banks. Apart from that, there is another very important aspect, that is of angel investors. Now what is the role of the angel investor? If the idea of yours of starting and running the business is good, and you are confident enough that you are going to reap the benefits in the near future, and in that case these all angel investors buy your idea, they invest in your idea, they take care of your idea, they guide you in your developing your idea. So this is another aspect of getting the financial assistance. You must have heard of, Byju's is getting funds from Alibaba, or some other people, or Paytm is getting funds from Zomato, is getting funds from the investors. So this is what they are getting funds from the angel investors who are taking the majority of stake, or purchasing the majority of stake in those future organizations which are small, or are getting into from small to larger one. So this is another aspect of angel investor which also helps in getting the finance to the upcoming entrepreneurs. Choice of the technology, another important aspect, because it solely depends on the current market. Technology plays a very important role, and you have to understand how the technology changes the game altogether. Choice of technology is a major decision for the entrepreneur at any situation. It is not only the application of appropriate technology to the industry, but also taking appropriate decision for the overall development of the industry. Technology is visible input in all our avocations. It is reflected in the way we do our activities. Technology is not cost escalative nor capital intensive as is normally thought to be so. Information technology has amply adding this. Also, technology does not mean adding electronic gadgets or automatization. Intricately designed sculptures and artistic goods for of our ancestors testimony that technology is not mere machines and tools, but dexterity of hand and way of thinking and doing. It is need-based adaptation. It is being energy efficient. It is getting the most out of the least. So as you can see, whenever you are developing your business or enhancing your business, you have to aware what type of a technology or what type of a area you should invest in. If you do not do so, then you are lacking in the competition and you are losing the customers very frequently, and this is going to harm your business in a longer term. So basically, whenever you're adopting the technology, it has to be cost effective as well as very much, advantageous to your organization. It should suit your organization need and requirement. Then only the choice of the technology is going to benefit on a longer term. If because of seeing the competitors way of adopting the technology, you adopt the same besides understanding the need and requirement of your particular expertise, then it is definitely going to harm very soon into your business, and this loss is going to be very painful. So in that case, we have to understand, when we are identifying the requirement of the technology for a business, we have to first jot down the requirement as to what type or what are the benefits we have to understand, and how much the cost it is taking, because we are certainly of the mind, we understand that by adopting a certain new aspect of the technology is going to pay cost us more, but it is not can be truly said, because at times it is very reasonable and you can adopt that new technology. Moving further, technology is not production technology, organizational technology, marketing technology, financial technology, and so on. SSI units are somewhat less oriented to advance their technology capabilities due to lack of creativity and innovation. Production technology is sought to be tackled through training, computerized design, research institutes, etc. For SSIs, appropriate technology should always be identical with labor-intensive production in view of the socio-economic objectives of the state. In certain circumstances, appropriate technology may be an advanced technology for capital-intensive large-scale production. The machine, tools, appliances, and equipments, etc., which are generally used for further production of goods and services of any SSIs that must be adjusted with the changing conditions both in long run and short run periods in order to survive in the midst of competition. Both modern and traditional technology are required for SSI production because both are coincide with formal and informal sectors of economy. For example, in case of beedi making, agarbatti, bamboo and cane works, poet, pottery industry, different crafts industry, jewelry, handloom and textile, etc. Both modern and traditional technology are required. So appropriate modern and appropriate traditional technologies both are equally important for SSIs. Now, being into a small scale enterprise, it is very important that we should not lose the traditional charm of the technology. If you talk about the pottery industry, if you talk about the bangles industry, if you talk about the jute industry, if you talk about the khadi industry, that is all being done with the traditional technology which is being prevailed. But modern technology adaptation here comes in to market that product, to increase the look and persona of the product, to enhance the consumer awareness, to increase the penetration of your product. That is the role of the modern technology. You are working on the traditional technology in developing the product. You can adopt to the modern technology as and when in whatever steps it is being required, but you also have to use the modern technology for the benefit of the organization, and that those benefits can only be derived if you adopt timely, if you teach, if you are flexible enough to adopt the modern technology as and when required. Switching it is not only going to benefit the organization and the products of your organization, but also to the welfare of the society and the economy as a whole. So if you talk about beady making industry, crafts industry, jewelry, handloom, textile, all requires both the correlation of the traditional as well as of the modern industry, and this is going to benefit to the small scale industries. Choice of appropriate technology is not merely a choice of a capital, labor ratio between capital and labor intensity of production, but several other inputs such as raw materials, intermediate products, and energy are also equally important for selecting appropriate technology. In case of some activities, receiving and handling, internal transportation, packaging and sorting, assembling seem to offer greater scope for technological choice than the production or roll process, material processing. Choice between different technologies should be based on the direct and indirect benefits on the chosen criteria. The economic objectives such as employment, income distribution, revenue, etc. cannot be denied. In selecting choice of technology, one point should be borne in mind, that is the optimum capacity utilization, neither under capacity nor over capacity utilization of resources. Demand is one of the major factor of choice of technology. The goods which require special observation, skillness, attention to the artisans, that should remain intact with better quality along with the application of appropriate technology to the appropriate field. In case of some traditional industries which are handed down from one generation to another, choice of technology should be made in such a way that the quality will remain the same or better quality, and industries will have to be running along with the application of modern technology with cost effectiveness. So overall, if you talk about here, as the points we were discussing earlier, that remains the same. You know, the optimum capacity utilization of the technology neither has to be made under or over. So basically it has to be and in collaboration with the need and requirement of your industry. So whenever you are identifying the need of the technology, you have to see what goods or what type of the skills are being required. So that can only be understood by observation, requirement of the artisans, that should be intact. And with the adoption of the modern technology, you can continue with the traditional technology as you were doing earlier. Choice of technology should be made considering the utilization of local material resources, protection to skilled artisans and laborers, cultural heritage, along with the industrial development. Choice of technology should always be against the pollution. Choice of technology should always be against the pollution. That is either zero or negligible polluted technology that should be taken into consideration first, even if the high profitability and low cost is involved. Choice of technology should be in such a way that it must be bringing about the effective combination of different factors such as financial, marketing, costing, capital, labor, energy, capacity, utilization, etc. Now, if you understand, choice of technology should be in such a way that it must be bringing the effective combination. You know, you are adopting a technology which is very good in production, but it has got least to do with the development of the product. It is has to deal less with the costing or the utilization aspect. Then before adopting the technology or finalizing the use of the technology or the way you are adopting to the new processes, you have to correlate and call for a joint understanding of all the departments working in your organization, from the finance, marketing, costing to the capacity and utilization. Because you know adopting a technology is easy, but the making it into a good fortune for the organization is a tedious task and a challenging task. So rather to make this a challenging in the next stage, that stage has to be considered before you finalize your the choice of technology. That is going to benefit you in the longer sense. The main methods of promoting the use of appropriate technology are: choice of technology must be based on careful analysis using the correct methodology, project or business requirement, evaluation of it, etc. Price, fiscal, financial, and exchange rate policies must contribute to correcting distort domestic factor and product prices. Demonstration of the benefits and beneficial effects of appropriate technology is also required. Dissemination of information and analysis of alternative technologies. This is also a very important point. Financial support for technology from government. Government of India and Ministry of Technology, Ministry of Textiles demonstrated Technology Upgradation Fund Scheme (TUFS) for textile and jute industries on April 1, 1999 for a period of 5 years. Hence, related by 3 years to cover sanctions up to March 31, 2007. Budget for financial year 2007 and 8 has reported further improvement of scheme by 5 years, that is to last till financial year 2011-12. A scheme is required to empower inducing of frontline or close best in class movement. Existing units with or without movement and new units are qualified under TUFS. Technology Upgradation Fund Scheme. Motivations behind energy under game plan are 5% interest reimbursement of common interest charge by crediting association or RTL, or 5% exchange fluctuation interest and repayment from base rate on FCL, 15% credit link capital subsidy for SSI sector, or 20% credit link capital subsidy for power loom sector, or 5% interest reimbursement plus 10% capital subsidy for specified processing machinery. So these all aspects, if you see what the government of India and the Ministry of Textiles have developed, it is for the benefit of the small scale industry. Now these all small scale industries dealing in the jute industry or handloom industry or textile industry basically are going to revamp the capacity of revenue, revamp the entire infrastructure, revamp the entire technology of that particular sector dealing in Ministry of Textiles. And these all benefits, from 5% interest reimbursement of common interest to the 5% exchange fluctuation from base rate of an FCL, or credit link capital subsidy for power loom sector, that is to 20%. So power loom basically who are designing towels, who are designing the carpets and all these are getting the 20% credit link capital subsidy. So we can understand all these schemes which the government has developed since 1999 is for the benefit of the small scale industries. And these all points are not only going to benefit the small scale industries in longer term, this is going to pave the path for the new entrepreneurs to get into these industries, from the corporate people to the big time players. Like if you want to increase the revenue of the organization, you have to adopt to the modern technology of e-commerce websites to showcase your products and to sell it, wherein the traditional technology is being used also at the same time for the development of the product. But the use of the modern technology in the Ministry of Textiles related industries is not only going to benefit them, but also going to create the new history in that particular segment which was in the earlier days were making huge losses. So the adoption of the technology is never bad or never poor, but it has to be correlated with your requirement and the industry benefits. Then only this technology adoption is going to pay, and even the government is also subsidizing the adoption of the technology. So this will be all for today, students. If any doubt, we can have a round of discussion again on these particular topics. Thank you.